Hello everyone, my name is Insha binti Rizal, and today I would like to present about the intricacies of Iznik ceramics compositions within Islamic aesthetic. So for the first point is spiritual and aesthetic foundation. Iznik ceramics is not just as object of beauty, but as living embodiments of Islamic aesthetic during the Ottoman period. Iznik ceramics were crafted with purpose. Every color, every curve, every repetition serves a deeper role. Rooted in the Islamic worldview, their visual harmony reflects values such as Tawhid, which is the unity of God. This unity is expressed through symmetry, balance, and infinite repeating patterns, drawing the viewer into the rhythm that mirrors the divine order of creation. These styles weren't designed to simply impress. They were created to elevate the mind toward contemplation, a principle shared by Islamic geometry, calligraphy, and harmony. So the second one is floral composition and stylized nature. Let's look more closely at the natural motif. The most common are tulips, carnations, roses, and hyacinths, symbols of paradise and eternal life in Islamic culture. But these are not just naturalistic depictions. Instead, they are stylized and abstract, aligned with the Islamic principle that art should reflect, not imitate. The sans-serif and rosette style, brought in after Persian artists from Tabriz arrived in Iznik in 1526, introduced dynamic, serrated leaves paired with large blooming rosettes. These weren't just create decoration, they carried meaning, the serenity of divine creation and the energy of the life flowing through each curved line. Third one is color as expression of devotion. One of the most celebrated aspects of Iznik ceramics is the vibrant color palette, originally limited to cobalt blue and white. The palette expanded dramatically in the 16th century under Sulaiman the Magnificent. Colors like turquoise, sage green, manganese, purple, and most importantly, Armenian bold red were introduced. This red, made from a special clay, required expert control to survive firing, but the result was stunning, a rich, matte, glowing red that added visual and spiritual intensity. The colors were just pleasing, they were chosen for their emotional resonance. Blue suggested divine infinity, green for paradise, red for passion and power. Color choices in sacred spaces were deliberate. They shaped spiritual mood, directed focus toward prayer, and reflected the sublimity of the divine presence. So, the fourth one is the integration in Islamic architecture. Iznik tiles were made in close coordination with architecture. They were designed to fit specific spatial needs, domes, mihrabs, porches, and arches. The legendary architect Mimar Sinan worked hand in hand with Iznik potter, ensuring every tile matched these architecture dimensions and visual rhythm. A perfect example is the Rustam Pasha Mosque, where nearly every surface is tiled, from the porch to the walls to the mihrab, creating a visual symphony of sacred design. Another is the circular Mehmed Pasha Mosque, known for its exceptional mihrab tile work, often described as Sinan's most refined small-scale masterpiece. These tiles transform physical space into spiritual space. They envelop the worshipper in symbolic gardens, geometry orders, and vibrant light, all through ceramic. And then we have symbolic and geometry language. Islamic aesthetic favor abstraction over imagery, so symbolism is crucial. The Cintamani motif with 3 dots and flowing stripes symbolize protections, cosmic power, and strength. Originally from Central Asia, It was absorbed into Ottoman Islamic language. Another is the cloud band, a ribbon-like swirl representing celestial energy and divine flow, often seen curling around floral cluster or geometric stars. These motifs along the arabesque and endless knotwork create a visual experience of the infinite. They align with Quranic ideas of God has no beginning and no end, and that divine truth is layered and repeating. Symmetry, repetition, and flow were not just visual tools, they were acts of devotion. The sixth one is craftsmanship and transfer techniques. How are these intricate patterns applied so precisely? Artisans use stencils and a method called pouncing. They pricked holes along the pattern outline, laid into the tile, and tapped charcoal dust through the holes to transfer the design. This allowed for perfect symmetry and pattern alignment, even on curved domes or large wall sections. The Iznik potters also used stone paste and ceramic body composed of quartz and clay, which gave the pieces their durability and glossy finish. Every tile was glazed and fired at exact temperature to preserve both color and line, a process that requires high skill and spiritual patience. And then last point, we have cultural fusion and imperial identity. Iznik ceramics are often seen as the pinnacle of Ottoman visual identity, but they are also a story of cultural exchange. The Ottomans adopted the wave and rock borders from Chinese porcelain, the Saz leaf from Persian painting, and even Thai layouts from Central Asian madrasas. But they transformed all of these elements into something distinctly Ottoman Islamic, functional, spiritual, and politically symbolic. Iznik tiles were more than art. They were a visual language that declared the empire's faith, refinement, and universality. So, in conclusion, Iznik ceramic were sacred visual composition. They express faith, imperial power, and spiritual depth, all through form, color, and rhythm. They were not simply decorative, they were manifestations of belief, carefully designed to guide the eyes, calm the soul, and connect architecture through divine intentions. Even today, their beauty speaks to us, not just as history, but as living echoes of Islamic aesthetic in its most harmonious and radiant form. Thank you for listening.